Hello everyone. I've got a very special video for you all this Christmas. Today we are going to be ranking the 16 historical world chess champions on a scale from D to S. Now I want to be clear that even though I am ranking them, every one of these guys would be pretty easy for me to defeat. So we'll keep that in mind as we jump in chronological order. Number 1, we have Wilhelm Steinitz. Already he gets bonus points for being the first world chess champion, but on top of that you could get lost for days in that luscious silky beard. Anyway, for the first decade or so of his career, he was aggressive as everybody else, and really ripped open some holes. Then he decided to ruin everything by abruptly changing his style and pioneering something called positional chess, and ruining the fun for everyone. This alone takes him from a solid S to a middling B. However, he took a 9-year hiatus from tournament play, and then came back to become the first ever world champ, which is pretty sigma, and is also the inspiration for my upload schedule. So, I'm gonna average things out and put him in A tier. Moving on. Emanuel Lasker. This guy is a beast. He held the world champion title for 27 fucking years. Not only that, this guy was a mathematician and a philosopher, and he was known for using psychological tricks to confuse his opponents into making brain-dead moves. Now, does that remind you of anyone? He played a match against Sigbert Tarrasch where he dominated him so badly that Tarrasch blamed the 10.5 to 5.5 loss on bad weather. Absolute Giga Chad. S tier. Following that, we have Jose Raul Capablanca, which already is boosted because it is undoubtedly the most fun name to say. He was renowned for his merciless accuracy. A lot of contemporary computer analysis of the former world champion suggests that he was one of, if not the most, technically accurate players of all time. Now, nobody likes a smartass more than me, but you gotta give the man some respect. He won the world championship from last year without a single loss, had an absolutely insane record, and he created some bullshit variant with extra pieces. Nobody really gave a fuck, but I really appreciate the effort. A tier. Alexander Alekhine, the only champion to ever take his title to the grave. He had a short peak in his 30s where he absolutely slaughtered everyone he faced, but after that he kinda just fell off. During his peak he played some of the most brilliant attacking games in history. I would show you, but then I would have to do this for everyone, and then it would be a 55-minute video. So, you're just going to have to imagine that part. He created the Alekhine defense, which is an entertaining reply to E4 that has the unique feature of giving you a shit position. I'm giving Alekhine a solid high-level B. Max Yu. I don't know. This guy was also a mathematician, but not exactly Lasker tier. He played an insanely long 30-game tournament over 3 months with Alekhine, and scraped a 15.5 to 14.5 victory. However, this was post-prime Alekhine, who was apparently well into his raging alcoholic phase. 2 years later, he got absolutely ravaged by a landslide in the rematch and lost the title. He was pretty good, but compared to the rest on the list, he's D tier. And I would like to apologize to all 4 of his fans. Moving on. Mikhail Botvinnik. This guy beat Capablanca at age 14, so he's already absolutely insane. Some people might say that this was only during a simul, but how fun are those people to talk to? This guy was the first in a very long line of Russians to absolutely dominate chess, so it's nice to know the motherland is being well represented for sleeper agents such as myself. The guy was a late bloomer, becoming world champ at 37 and hanging on until his early 50s. Interestingly, he never played E4, or basically never played E4, so every screeching hyper-aggressive 12-year-old on chess.com will probably not rate him. Solid B tier. Moving on. Vasily Smyslov. Vaseline Sizzler was a prolific chess player, but he was also an opera singer. I hate opera. He played the Roy Lopez in the English, and thus had the originality of the average SoundCloud rapper. He also only reigned for a single year, despite being a candidate like 10 times. Garbage. D tier. Mikhail Tal, one of the most brilliant attacking players of all time, became world champion at age 24 and is beloved by literally every chess player. Look up any one of this guy's games and have the audacity to tell me that he belongs anywhere other than S tier. So that's where he goes. After Tal, we have Tigran Petrosian, who was literally nicknamed Iron Tigran because he was basically an indestructible defensive tank. He relied heavily on prophylaxis and was not known to take significant risks. For the illiterate members in my audience wondering what prophylaxis is, you should watch all of my videos right now to avoid bearing the humiliation of such stupendous ignorance. He essentially is the chess equivalent of Snorlax. He was damn good at it, but it's still fucking, Snorlax. C tier. Boris Spassky. He is the cliche evil Russian villain in every film representation, even though he was probably just a normal guy. Anyway, he lost a match to Tigran Petrosian, then won a second one to become the champ. He then got brutally whipped by some psychotic American guy in 1972. He's a very good player, but honestly, not really anything exceptional compared to the other names on the list. C tier. And then we have Anatoly Karpov, who is the second best Russian player of all time. Karpov probably would not have been allowed to play in modern tournaments because there are testosterone limits imposed by FIDE. This guy was an absolute bully. Almost everyone he played against got completely destroyed and looked like whimpering sissies by the time it was over. He also destroyed this arrogant little shit. Probably to take revenge for the fact that he almost got beaten by a 13-year-old Norwegian kid. A tier. Garry Kasparov. Larry Kasparov is the best Russian player of all time, and one of the longest reigning champions. A lot of people would say he is the best player of all time, because he is an absolute genius, both tactically and positionally. Look up all of his games. Watch all of his games. If you don't know who he is, you are pushing the boundaries of what it means to be a fucking casual. S tier. Viswanathan Anand. I know, it's very impressive how easily I was able to pronounce that. Did you like that? I thought it was pretty cool. Anyway, Vishy Anand is one of the most liked chess players. He probably would have been world champion for longer if he didn't happen to coincide with the rise of the upcoming Scandinavian death machine. But the guy is an absolute legend. The first ever grandmaster from India, known for being incredibly versatile and devastatingly handsome. A tier. And now we have the current champion, Magnus Carlsen, fresh off another victory after making sweet love to Jan Nepomniachtchi. Magnus Carlsen is undoubtedly the strongest player who is currently alive. He is also a pompous, dismissive dickhead during all of his press appearances, which has given the chess community some of the greatest memes ever, including showing up to a match with Hikaru completely shirtless. Hey, how can you not love this fucking guy? He has essentially no identifiable weaknesses other than his steaming shit pile of an iPhone app. S tier. So, those are all the greatest human beings to ever play the game of chess. However, I'm sure some of the less handicapped members of my audience are wondering about the noticeable gap in the timeline between Spassky and Karpov. That's because the guy who occupies this spot is actually not human. We were talking about the one, the only, Bobby Fischer. He is the greatest chess player of all time, by far, bar none. Fight me in the comments section, I don't care. During his peak, he was so far ahead of the rest of the chess world that it was just ridiculous. He won the US championship at age 14. At age 20, he won 11 out of 11 games in the same tournament, which had never been done before and has never been done since. He had an absolutely unbelievable winning streak in his prime. He won the most entertaining and dramatic world championship ever against Boris Spassky, and then peaced out and fucked off to Iceland to become a vagrant. Difficult to categorize, but I've created a special tier to most accurately reflect the reality of things. Let's put him up here in the BFF tier, just slightly above myself. And there we have it, the tier list of all classical world chess champions. If you even slightly disagree with these rankings, feel free to post your incorrect opinions in the comment section below. Like the video to feel included in something resembling a group activity. Subscribe to the channel for immensely entertaining chess content, and share this video with all of your friends. Merry Christmas, my loyal sheep, and I will see you all next year.